Fatima for that wonderful introduction. It's always a little bit embarrassing when my introducer speaks longer than the actual speaker. But I would like to just reiterate what Mark said to Mike and to Fatima and Virginia and all the other folks that are responsible for this evening. It's just so nice to be here in Arlington in front of friendly faces. And Mike, you mentioned that it was so nice to have three candidates here. And I need to be up front with you and the audience is that, if I wasn't here right now, I'd be in an 8x8 making phone calls. So it's great. I thoroughly enjoyed visiting with folks before the dinner and with our table. And just, also to echo what Mark said, I think it's important for you all to know how important you are to people like Terry and Mark and myself and the delegates and all the folks that run for office each year. We could not do what we do without your help, without knocking on doors, without making phone calls, without helping us get our message out. It is just such a team effort, and I just say thank you to all of you for what you do, and we're going to have a successful year, and we're going to have a great night on November 5th. But, a couple other thank yous, just very quickly. Anish Chopra and I were good friends when he served under Tim Kaine in his position. We were good friends during the campaign, and we're good friends now. He ran a great campaign. He's a great person. He's smart. He's articulate. He's got a great future in politics. And, he has reached out to me since the primary. He has been extremely gracious and will help me go to victory on November the 5th. So I thank him. He's great. Like to thank Justin Fairfax, who is just a wonderful person. He has a wonderful family. He ran a great race. I'm sure that Mark would agree. Has a tremendous potential in Virginia politics. And again, thank Justin. Nice job going through my bio, but I was, I think I know a lot of you in here, but I did want to just tell you very briefly that I did grow up on the eastern shore of Virginia in a small town called Onancock, and I know that's difficult to teach for those that haven't looked at it before, but the eastern shore is that part of Virginia that's not connected, if you will, with the rest of the state geographically. But we're working on that, and we're going to make sure it gets put on the map each time. But that's where I came from. I would like to just mention very briefly my wife Pam of 27 years sends her regards tonight. Aubrey, our daughter, just graduated from UVA. Today was her move-out day from her apartment, so my wife thought it would be in our family's best interest. She represented us in Charlottesville. My son is in his last year of medical school. He's going into neurosurgery. He's down in Miami right now doing a rotation. So hopefully he knows what he's getting into. I'm not sure, but we're proud of him as well. Fatima mentioned I did enter the Senate in 2008. We've been able to get some good things done along with my fellow Democrats. Certainly the smoking ban in restaurants, I think, will make Virginia a healthier place for us and for our families. I've done a lot of work with concussions and our student athletes, hopefully making it safer for them. And by the way, it's great to have high school students with us tonight. Welcome. You're a big part of the Democratic Party, and you are our future. Embarrassments that we've had to deal with in the last couple of years, and as most of you all know, and I know I've seen my good friend Senator Janet House sitting here. We have fought together. The transvaginal ultrasound has been an embarrassment, quite frankly, to the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I remember the day that the patron of the ultrasound bill stood up on the floor of the Senate, and the patron is a female, by the way, Republican, and told the Senate that the transvaginal ultrasound was non-invasive. And I turned to my seatmate Mark on the left and my old seatmate John Miller on the right, and I said, guys, I'm not a woman, but I am a doctor. And I believe that transvaginal that the Republicans strongly believe in. And I just would like to take a quick second and tell you what the personhood bill will do if it's passed, and it came one vote away short of passing, came out of the House, one vote short in the Senate, and then it would have gone to the governor. But that would criminalize the majority of contraception that is used today in this country and in this Commonwealth. It would also criminalize, I think just as importantly, in vitro fertilization. And if you think of the number of families across this Commonwealth that have been helped by in vitro fertilization that had difficulty conceiving, and that would be taken off the table, and think about the families in the future that would be helped. These bills that we talk about and sometimes laugh about have tremendous consequences, and we need to work together to stop them. You know, our three opponents, they support the miscarriage bill that Mark spoke about. And you know, the last time I checked, none of the three of our opponents have MD after the name, and I'm positive that none of the three of them are women. So at the end of the day, there is no excuse that those three should be telling women what they should and shouldn't be doing with their bodies. To Democrats. That's why we're here, and that's what we really need to emphasize. But I couldn't go out, and I apologize, I couldn't, let them off the hook all the way. But, what do we believe in? How are we going to make the Commonwealth of Virginia more friendly for business, for businesses that are here that are doing well, and to attract new business? We need to have the light on that we're open for business. We need to welcome people to Virginia. We need to be all-inclusive. That includes women. That includes the LGBT community. That includes everybody that wants to come and share the Virginia dream as we have shared. And just a couple things that I want to emphasize with you that I am passionate about. The first thing Congressman Moran talked about is the environment. And I grew up on the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay was literally my backyard over on the eastern shore. And unfortunately, I have watched the demise of the Bay over my years. And we need to return the Bay to the quality that it was when I grew up, so that our children and their children and people that work on the Bay and the people that enjoy the Bay can do that. And just a couple of things that you all probably don't know about. On our little promotional stickers and signs of blue crab. And, it's interesting. I've come up to, and thank you, Lamar, for helping with the blue crab. But, a lot of people up here in Northern Virginia say, "Right, you got to get rid of that blue crab." We think of the blue crab as being from Maryland, but we've done a lot of things to bring the blue crab population back. We've stopped winter dredging in the southern part of the Chesapeake Bay, so bear with me, because I'm proud of the Chesapeake blue crab, and we're going to keep that around for a while. Oysters, it's a win-win. They're great to eat. They also filter our water, and we're doing great work in the Chesapeake Bay, bringing the oyster population back. The second area that I want to just talk briefly about, and I know my friend Terry is going to talk about it a little bit probably as well, but is health care. That's my background. And there is no excuse, underlining, no excuse that the Commonwealth of Virginia should not be taking advantage of the Medicaid expansion. Senators and delegates, but one in particular, Senator Barbara Favola, who I've said before, if you can send us 10 more Barbara Favolas to Commonwealth of Virginia, we'll be in excellent shape. But she and I worked together on writing the language for the Medicaid expansion with some good reform. What the Medicaid expansion will do is open up coverage for about 400,000 hard-working Virginians. What has happened is the cost of health care have risen a lot faster than people's salaries, so we have hard-working Virginians who cannot afford coverage. So, if the Commonwealth of Virginia doesn't take advantage of the Medicaid expansion, we're literally throwing billions of dollars out the window to other states such as Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Florida, who have opted in. And I might add, and as I said, a team said, I am a veteran. 30,000 plus of that 400,000 are veterans. And I'm going to tell you something, they are out there, our soldiers, our troops are fighting right now so that we have the freedoms that we have. The least that we can do is make sure that when they come home, that they have access to quality health care and that their families have access to quality health care. About it, and I know I'm the only thing in the way of our keynote speaker, and I'm looking forward to hearing him. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but I am so proud to be working with Mark here and Terry McCullough. We got a great ticket. We're traveling around the Commonwealth. Terry is listening to folks. He's asking great questions. People are relating to him. We're on a roll. We're going to have a great year, and I think we're going to get it done on November the 5th. But the last thing I just want to mention briefly, which I am passionate about, and that's our future, that's our talent, and that's our children. And if we don't invest in our children, as Congressman Moran says, we have lost the boat. And the future of our children starts with a world-class education. And that education, I think we can all agree on, starts at home. But I will tell you, as a pediatric neurologist and just having traveled around, not all children come from a good home. And so what we need to do to even the playing field, in my opinion, is to open up access to pre-K education for all children across the Commonwealth. And I will tell you, learning potential in our 3 or 4 or 5-year-old brains. And so if my wife and I have the means to send our children to pre-K and our neighbors don't, that's where the gap between the haves and the have-nots start. And when children aren't reading by the 3rd grade, those are some of the statistics that are used in the Commonwealth to determine how many prison cells we need. So we can either pay for it now or we can pay for it later. As we say on the eastern shore of Virginia, you can either go to jail or you can go to jail. Take your pick. The other thing, just very briefly, we have a lot of high schoolers and we encourage everybody to go to college, but we're coming out of the worst recession in the last 5 years that many people have seen. Not everybody is destined to go to college. We need to make sure that our high schoolers have access to good technical and vocational training so that they're under the administration of Governor Kane and Governor Warner that the Commonwealth of Virginia was the #1 state in the United States to start a business, the #1 state to raise a child, the best managed state in the country. We have slipped, ladies and gentlemen. We're now 5th. We need to turn that around. Instead of talking about all these social issues, we need to start talking about things like transportation and health care and education and protecting our environment. Those are the principles and values that are important to us sitting here tonight and that are important to all Virginians across the Commonwealth. I hope that you all will join us, keep up the fight, keep the momentum going from 2012. I look forward to working with Mark, Terry, all of you. Let's get this done on November